What's going on, everybody? It's Novella J. Lee with the Buzz at Buzzworthy Radio, and I had the pleasure of speaking with Daniel André, who is the writer and producer of the movie Running on Empty, which premieres in theaters Friday, August 9th, and video on demand on August 27th. I would go into detail about what the movie is about in my intro normally, but I think Daniel had me take care of that when I started this interview with him. So you just gonna have to watch to find out what the movie is about from me. That was a very interesting way to start this conversation, but this was a lot of fun and I really enjoyed speaking with him about this. And hopefully you guys enjoy it as well. So here it is, our interview with Daniel André. Check it out. So, guys, I am sitting with Daniel Andre, and we are here to talk about the movie Running on Empty. First of all, thank you for joining me. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, I have sat and watched the movie. Can't wait to talk about this with you, especially certain aspects of the film. But let's go ahead and give a little bit of a rundown of exactly what we can say about Running on Empty.
Sure. Sure. So, do you have words or I'd love to hear your words.
That's the first time anyone's ever done that to me. So I will gladly say the words first.
Awesome.
And if you have anything to add, correct me, please do so. So this movie is about a gentleman by the name of Mortimer, and he in essence, I like to say he's been given a quote unquote death sentence. And he's basically once he's been given his date of death, he is trying to reevaluate his life and figure out the meaning of life. And he figures out a lot in the way as well as love. So we get to experience that through his eyes. And I honestly, when I watched this film, and I'm not trying to give any spoilers, this is more or less of my feelings about it. It definitely spoke about the fact that living life to the fullest, because I feel that if it were me and I were giving a date of death, I don't want to live like tomorrow. It's just I don't want to sit and contemplate. I don't want to sit and contemplate my life. I actually want to go out and live my life because life doesn't stop. It still goes. And I do like the fact that while he did get to experience that in the film for the character, it took Mortimer a while to get there. So I will start with that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's just sort of deals with this awkward mortician who finds out he's gonna die in less than a year, and his fiance dumps him, and his family and friends encourage him to get out there and still try and date while he has time left. And fortunately enough, in this world, there's a dating service that will help you do that and find other people with similar death dates or maybe people with different death dates. I think she mentions it in the movie about how, maybe if you're not into commitment, you might just want to date people who have 6 months to live. You date them and
Yeah,
it's fun,
that was
and
mentioned in the movie.
then they go away and you move on.
Yep, that was indeed mentioned in the movie. And I want to do before I get to my next question, I want to give a quick shout out to this movie because I feel like I don't know if it was intentional, but if it wasn't or if it was, I still think this was awesome. That a little bit I feel of an homage was paid for Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
There was one in there, yeah. There's a few. They're all what I call it is it's sort of like filmmaker remixing. I also come from a music background and DJing and house music and techno, and you do a remix of like someone else's song, and it's essentially your version of their song. And I think that's really what we are as artists. We're just sort of we're regurgitating stuff that we're inspired, but it goes through our creative filter and becomes something totally new. Um, Fun fact I'll tell you though about that scene, it actually was supposed to be shot indoors at night. And because of scheduling and everything else, we ended up shooting at this house that had a pool and all of this stuff. And so, yeah, that all happened sort of by happenstance, and it couldn't have worked out better, in my opinion.
I just started gritting when I saw it, and I was going like, ah, there's the moment. I was going like, I gotta mention that when I get you on here for sure. Th was this you had this either done or completed 2 years ago? Is that right? Or
It was we finished shooting in 2022 and then it's been post and everything else since then. Yeah.
and now it's premiering in theaters a week from Friday on August 9th
No,
with video on demand, I believe later in the month as well. I can't remember the date now. I think it was
August 27th.
27th. I was going to say 21st.
Yep.
And I just found out that you guys, and correct me on this too, a screening is taking place at the Royal on Monday, this coming Monday, and you and
Yep.
Monica Potter and Rhys will be doing a Q&A after the screening.
Yes, yeah. So for the people who are in LA, it's going to be on the 5th at, like you said, Lemley Royal in Santa Monica, 7 p.m. And
7.
there'll be a Q&A after.
Awesome. Now, you have also worked with so many big name people when you worked in post-production for primarily IMAX,
Mhm.
James Cameron, Michael Bay. Um, what were your biggest takeaways working with such talented professionals in this business? I mean, you yourself are one, but
Yeah.
what did you take away from
Thank you.
being with them?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's so I before I moved back to LA, I brushed up on some stuff and to go into post production, sort of, so I wouldn't have to be a waiter while I was trying to make my films. And
Sure.
the years I worked for IMAX, it was really cutting my teeth getting to work around and on movies that were just like, $100 million blockbusters. And because of that, a lot of the, getting to be around these other directors, I'm literally like in a screening room taking notes on what we need to fix or change or whatever. So it was a very professional sort of proximity. But at the same time, it works to give you that motivation of like, oh yeah, okay, I can do this at some point. It was really an amazing experience. Yeah,
Definitely. And I have to ask this too. I know we're crunching on time here for a little bit, but I do have to
no
ask
worries.
if you were giving a date of death, would you want to know? Would you want to know that? And if so, why?
Right now, I don't think so. I think I kind of like the mystery of it all. But who knows? Maybe that'll change. Maybe we'll actually have the option sometime in the future. Who knows?
I I
What
do
about you?
I do agree with you. I was gonna say I actually agree. I don't think I would want to know because I feel like have if I were to know, I feel like I would be forced to live my life where right now I'm just living moment to moment. I'm just enjoying what life is bringing me and what I'm enjoying out of that life. I don't feel the burden of having to have the bucket list and what's on the bucket list. This is what I want to do. I don't want to feel like I have to rush in order to complete something. I definitely don't want to know for that capacity because I'm just happier not knowing. I'm probably that also on that spectrum. I feel that if I did know, I would be the one that would be worrying about when's my last breath going to be, and not really appreciating what life has to offer, what the world has to offer. So on that level, no, I definitely would not.
While you were talking, that actually it made me think of if you did know, how sometimes you just want to veg out on your day off and do absolutely nothing. If
Yes,
you knew when you were gonna die, how would you be able to enjoy doing that anymore?
you won't be
Because
able
you
to.
would feel like I'd have to be skydiving like every day or doing something crazy, and I couldn't just like chill and enjoy my day.
You're gonna have to do something to take your mind off of it, and that's the other thing too. Like you just said perfectly, I would not be able to enjoy vegging out, eating ice cream, watching my favorite show on Netflix or Hulu or whatever streaming services that I have open that day. I'm not going to be able to enjoy that. I have to do something to get my mind off of it. And even then, what's going to happen when you do try that escape? So
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I don't want to have that notion of knowing. I just want to basically be here in the present and be in the moment. And that's life. I feel like that's life.
I agree 100%.
I honestly, this movie is going to resonate with a lot of people because it's going to start making them question, what if you were to know? What would happen if you did know? So I do like those aspects of it, and I love the dark humor that's also involved in it, and hopefully everybody that gets the chance to see it feels the same way I do about it. And I appreciate you talking with me about this and having me give the synopsis of the movie myself. So I
I
thought
love
that
it.
was fun. Absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah, no, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. I'm super excited to see what the response is. And yeah, like they say, if you can just if you can touch one person, hopefully more.
If you could touch one person, not sometimes that means enough, but you never know. It could touch a
Yeah,
lot of people, but it
yeah,
always only takes one. And
yep.
if you guys are in the Los Angeles area, if you're in Santa Monica, please go to the Royal, check out the screening. You can go online and buy tickets. It's Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific time on Santa Monica Boulevard. And if you're not there, you can always watch it when it premieres in theaters on Friday, August 9th, as well as on video on demand on August 27th. Daniel, it was an absolute pleasure. This was fun. I can't believe that was 10 minutes. I would love to have you back for a longer stay.
Anytime.
Definitely, man. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Likewise. Thank you.
Thank you. Many thanks to Daniel André for stopping by the BUZZCast to talk about Running on Empty, which again premieres in theaters on August 9th. And if you don't get to catch it in theaters, it does drop on video on demand on August 27th. And if you are in the Santa Monica area, there will be a screening of the movie at the Regal, and it starts at 7 p.m. Pacific time. So make sure you guys get there for not just a screening, but also a Q&A, which will include Daniel, Monica Potter, and Rhys. So make sure you guys check that out as well. But that's going to do it for me for right now. I'm the J. Lee, making sure you keep getting the latest buzz with Buzzworthy Radio by logging on to our website at buzzworthyradiocast.com. I do want to add that if you do want to go to the Regal for this screening, it will be on our website for the link to buy tickets. So just FYI. You can also follow us on X at Buzzworthy Radio, liking us on our Facebook page, and we're also on Instagram at BuzzNav and at Buzzworthy Radio. And finally, you can download our podcast at Amazon Music and iHeartRadio. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.